Good evening. How you doing? I'm Minister Peyton Moore of 66 Books of Truth Ministries. I hope you all are having a wonderful, wonderful, blessed day, and that God is blessing you and that He is keeping you. Oh, today we're going to have a good subject. Today we're going to be talking about the fatherless homes, the fatherless children, the fatherless sons, the fatherless daughters. We're going to focus a lot on this because it's a lot going on in the world today, and we see that there are some children, they are lost. They are angry, they are rebelling. We see it happening out in the streets, and today I want to take this subject broad. I'm talking about fatherless homes, fatherless children all across the world, no matter what color you are. You can be black, you can be Hispanic, you can be Caucasian, you can be African, you can be Asian, you can be Mexican, you can be Jamaican. I don't care. We're going all across the board here. Here's a story that I read from a brother by the name of Patrick Hampton, that he was writing he wrote this letter directly to one of the best basketball players in the league today, that I believe that he is being misinformed on a lot of information, because now, to me personally, they're using him as to be a face for something that I don't believe he really understands what he's doing. Now, mind me, he came from a broken home, but I don't know if he experienced a lot of things that he is standing up for today. And if he have, I mean, so be it. But I just don't, it's not connecting here. I think he's just being used as a face, okay? So Patrick Hampton wrote this letter today, and I want this to be broad. He's talking about his 4 sons, okay? He's a black man. He has 4 black sons, but I want this to go all across the board to all cultures. So today I'm talking to fathers today. This is a message for fathers. And I need you fathers to stand up and be men, get wisdom, get godly wisdom, and understand what it takes to be a man and a father in this world, on this earth today, no matter what. Whether you're married, whether you're divorced, or whether you're single. Okay? You need to be in your children's life. You need to fight every day. You need to scratch and fight every day to be in your children's life, no matter what the other side is saying, what the mother is saying, blah, blah, blah. Those children need you. You are the missing puzzle in these children's life today. Okay? So we need to be in our children's life. I've had the experience. I've been through divorces. Okay, I've been married 3 times. I've been divorced twice. My first marriage, I had 2 daughters. As they got older, me and their mother, we separated when they was 6 and 8. And as they got older, there was a lot of times that I wasn't there physically to kind of take charge and have authority and put things in place and let them know that, no, this is not the young man that you need to be dating. I don't feel comfortable with that. And I apologize for that. I wasn't there the way that I wanted to be. I was in their lives, but there were times where I needed to be there in those important moments, and I wasn't there due to work or my schedule, or I was doing some other things, and I apologize for that. But I think as a man and as a father, I did the best that I could at the time, and they have grown up to be some nice young ladies. But as teenagers, they went through some things. If I would have been there to block some things, there were some things that wouldn't have never happened. Okay? So we're going to start off talking about today this letter that he wrote to this famous basketball player today. He's very famous today, and you'll know who I'm talking about. And Patrick Hampton wrote to him, he's saying that you don't speak for me and my boys. That's a great way to start it off. He said, I am a father of 4 brown boys. It is my responsibility as a father to protect and serve them, to protect and serve his sons, to protect and serve your daughters. It's your duty. It's your job. God gave you that responsibility. He goes on to say, there's no need for police in my home because as their father, I'm the authority in my home. That is what he's saying. In his home, he have dominion over his home. he controls what goes on in his home. He makes sure that his children honor and respect him, and I'm quite sure they will honor and respect their mother. Okay? This is something that we must instill into our children. So he said, police are not needed in his home. Police are needed where fathers in law and order are absent. You see, there's a lot of absentee fathers. You're not there in your children's life. You're spending too much time doing some other things, in prison, on drugs, in the strip clubs, in the pool halls. You left your family to be with somebody else across town. Okay, so how can you protect your son or your daughter from being in a gang, something that you didn't even know about, and then there may be a time where they get in trouble, you across town are doing your thing, when you could be spending that quality time with them, maybe on a Friday or Saturday or Sunday, and then they go out and get shot. So how are you going to protect them on the other side of town when they're out doing something that you have no idea? This is what I want parents to understand, especially fathers. Quit saying what your children won't do. Because when they come of age and they start hanging around and mingling with other people and other children and other young people their age, they can get into some things. I've been young. I've been there. Okay? He goes on to say, where there's no father to protect and serve children, police have to move into the community to protect and serve. So if there's no father figure, if there's no uncle, if there's no next door neighbor, I'm talking about some good-hearted people that you respected, you honored, and they put fear into you if you got in trouble. Because when I was raised up, coming up, the next door neighbor already had permission. They see me get out of line, anyone in the neighborhood, they hear something, it was butt kicking time. By the time mama got home, my great aunt got home, I probably already caught 2 whoopings, and now I'm getting ready for a 3rd. You see, this is what didn't happen in the household. You have an organization out here called Black Lives Matter who is trying to destroy the family nucleus here to get the man out the house. We've already had this experience with biblical times when, you had these kings and these pharaohs that wanted to destroy children, kill the firstborn, get rid of the boys so we can't, no more multiplication of men. And then here we go with this abortion deal. Here we got with her name, Margaret Singer, who put up all these abortion clinics and things within communities to do what? Abort what? A lot of minority children, Black, Hispanic children. Okay? But like I said, I want this to go all across the board because now we're talking about fatherless homes. But if you eliminate the male, there'll be no multiplication. I just want you to think about that. Okay? So what he's saying, where there's no father, there's no protection or service to the children. So we got to have somebody to step up to the plate to be the man that they need to be in their community, in their church, in their home. We need programs like this Maximized Manhood program that I teach to help us as men, no matter what color you are, what education you have, or your background. We need you to stand up and be godly men, men with wisdom, men to stand up and take responsibility of your children, of your home. Okay? He goes on to say, where there is no father or authority in the home or neighborhood, young men rebel. We see this today. We see it widely today. We see young men just rebelling. You know why? This is why police are having a hard time gaining compliance with fatherless boys on the side of the road. They refuse to sit down, be quiet, and comply. Why? Because the police are the first men to tell them no and assert their authority. If there has been no man in their life, who has told them, son, sit down, be quiet. You will not disrespect your mother. You will not disrespect your brother or your sister. You will honor me and you will respect me because I am an authority. Until men stand up and do this, we're going to have all these rebellious children. Look at it. We got this protest out here. And the scary thing about these protests out here, look who's on the front line. Women. Where are you men? You're just like the fatherless home. You're standing in the background. Or you're running away from it. Or you're sending your child out on the front line to either be killed, shot, or destroyed in the middle of a protest. I can go back and talk about this lady that saw her son in Baltimore that was out in the protest. I think she saw him on TV, and she got up and left home to go down where her son was, and she took care of her son. She disciplined him, pulled him by his ear. She's saving her son's life. Where was the father? Where was the father at to come save this son's life? Okay? Getting distracted and caught up into too many other things other than focusing on your children. Fathers. Okay? Okay, it goes on to say, these boys have spent their lifetime under no man's authority. A failure to recognize and respect authority is a primary casual factor in the violence besieging our urban areas. I see black children, I see white children, young people, young youth. They're hurt, they're angry, they're in pain. They probably have had no love. They have seen destruction all their life. They're rebelling. Now, there are some that have came from a nice home, but they decide they want to do what they want to do. Okay? So I'm not going to discriminate on that. There are some children that have came from a two-parent family home, a father and mother who have done their best to raise them to the best of their ability, provided for them to the best of their ability. But they decide they want to go out and hang out with the gang, or hang out with this group, or hang out with that crowd. But then you have the ones that have seen a lot of destruction. They have seen separations. They have seen their parents break up. They have seen fights. They've seen arguments. Some of them have seen killings. And they're angry and they're hurt. And their anger is coming out in the streets, in the rebellion, in the rebellious way. And they're entering into gangs and organizations, and they're out there protesting, and they're fighting, and they're starting fires, and they're looting, and they're doing everything under the sun. Where's the fathers? I'm looking. I'm waiting. He goes on to say, you don't speak for me and my boys, to this professional basketball player, which everybody should know. We are not terrified of the police because we respect the police and accept their authority. That's because my boys first have to respect me as their father and accept my authority. So this father, Patrick Hampton, is letting you know, I'm the man that my boys have to answer to. If they go out there and get in trouble, they're going to have to answer to me first. Actually, one of them wants to be a police officer. You, Mr. Professional Basketball Player, are trying to destroy the dream of painting a police officer as a negative light when most of those guys are good. You're going to take 1% of police officers that may have some bad characteristics, or they're doing things that they shouldn't do, over all of these officers that are out there protecting us and our children to the best of their abilities, and you, a professional basketball player that make millions of dollars, who's probably protected by police officers, who protects your home, who protect you when you go out, who bodyguard you, and you have the nerve to degrade them because you're listening from what some Black Lives organization is telling you, or some people in Hollywood or actors are putting in your ear, misinforming you. It's a lot of good officers out there. Black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Middle Eastern. They want to protect and serve. But you got this little 1% that's corrupt. And everybody just a lot of people just want to blame the police department for everything. No, can't do that. Those police officers and police women have families too. They want to go home too. They're not going to let nobody kill them. They must comply. I know I'm going to get a lot of negative reverb from there, but that's okay. It comes with the territory. Okay, he goes on to say, in fact, what should terrify him is black men and women and black kids are the black men that kill each other in their own black neighborhoods every day. So, I see where he's going with it. He's talking about the black on black crime. He say, what he's terrified of is, black men, black women, and black children, they're scared of their own people in their neighborhoods. People that look like you, the same skin color. They're the ones that's breaking in your homes. They're the ones that's putting guns out on you and robbing. They're the ones that's selling the drugs on the corner to your own culture. You're the one prostituting your own brothers and sisters on the street. Now, this happens in other cultures too, but the only difference is that this is not what's reported through the media. We don't see that. The media only report what they want to report and edit what they want to edit to give you to disturb the mind. Okay? So, he said, we are afraid of the black men that threaten us for desiring to live a peaceful, lawful, successful life. This happens in all cultures. There are people that want to keep you down in the crab in the bucket syndrome. As long as they down, you're supposed to stay down. You're supposed to stay hurt. You're supposed to not be joyful. You're not supposed to be peaceful. You're not supposed to have peace in your life, and that's wrong. He goes on to say, we are aware of the fact that almost 90% of all black homicides are committed by black men. It's proven. It's right before the eyes. I made a statement a while back about black on black crime. Oh, I had this sister come back at me and she writing a long letter and talking about I'm complaining and if you need to get out and act and you need to do this and you need to do that. And I'm like, who's she talking about? I do act. I teach. I counsel. I talk to men of all ages and all colors from all backgrounds. What is she talking about? She's so busy trying to throw her opinion on me when I'm the one that's doing the factual work. Throwing Bible scriptures at me and this here and that. And I'm like, whoa, okay. So I delete her off my Facebook page. I don't need that. It says, this is what we need to do. He said, you focus on the handful of white on black officers involved in shootings, but you ignore the epidemic of black on black crime. Black on black murder, rapes, and violent assaults. Choosing instead to adopt the Marxist BLM mantra about condemning policemen. Okay, so I understand where he's going with that. You're following some organization, dude, that they designed themselves to destroy families, pull the black families apart. There are organizations out there from other cultures they doing the same thing too, believe it or not. It's just that we don't hear about it. It's undercover. Okay? If you really want to help fatherless boys like yourself, stop using fear tactics and the guilt trips. Stop supporting political policies that enslave the black people's mind on an urban poverty plantation. I see where he's going for that. What he's saying is that you're promoting broken families. And as I say, I want this to be abroad because I'm talking to fathers. You need to not be in this position to where you're enslaved, not only to in a political deal, you're enslaved to drugs, alcohol, you're enslaved to gambling. You doing things that take time that you should be spending with your children. And I'm not saying you don't need no me time, but what's the most important in this world? Because when that child is between the age of 12 and 18, those are times when they really need you the most. Whether you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Jamaican, I don't care what color you are. Your children need you the most all across the world. He goes on to talk about, this is what you need to start promoting. and I'm agreeing with this brother 100%. You need to start promoting Mr. Basketball Player for equal share parenting. Okay? Lack of, he talks about, which empowers divorced dads and single dads to have more time with their children without paying more child support. Help get legislation passed to make child support more fair and equal. Fund programs like his former program called the Good Guys, Good Girls, mentorship curriculum. This was killed by the Obamacare. They snatched the funds away from that. It's amazing. The most important things you pull money out of, but the things that don't make sense is what you're putting money into. He says, it goes on to say, to help black youth learn to respect authority, develop a work ethic, and accomplish their goals. We need programs like this for all cultures, no matter what color you are. As I say, this Maximize Manhood courses is one that I teach. Okay? He goes on to say, stop blaming the police and help build better fathers and families. Stop saying police need more training and start training more dads and young black boys on the rule of law and police protocol. Remember, there are millions of black and brown boys out here that are not being killed by police. They are alive and doing quite well because they acknowledge authority. Now, as I say, I want this to go across all the way across the board. No matter what color you are. I'm just using his letter for an example. And I'm going to give you a few biblical scriptures and we're going to close out. Okay? This is what we need to do as parents and as a father. It goes on to say in Genesis 1:27-28, it talks about what, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. And God blessed them. And God said to them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. God put man down here. He has a responsibility. You are a leader. You must have dominion. You must command authority from your children. Because once they get out in the streets, it ain't too much love out there. Either way it go. And they must learn to respect authority. Quit teaching your children to disrespect authority. Train up a child in the way that they should go. Whether it's a he or she. We need fathers in the home. Okay? Fathers are to be intentional and focused in parenting godly wisdom and instructions to their children. Deuteronomy 6, verses 7-9. It says, repeat them. God commands again and again to your children. Talk about them when you are at home and when you are on the road, when you are going to bed and when you are getting up. Tie them to your hands and wear them on your forehead as reminders. Write them on the doorpost of your house and on your gates. God wants us to talk to our children. When there's no communication, what do you have? They must earn your respect. You must turn the TV off, turn the computers off, turn the phone off, and let's talk. How was your day? How was school today? Whether you're married, divorced, or single, you spend quality time with the children, find out what's going on. How you gonna know what's going on in their lives if you're not there? They have no communication. Okay? God put things in place for children. It talks about the children. Children, in Colossians 3:20 says, children, obey your parents in everything, for this pleases the Lord. Ephesians 6, verses 1-3, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother. This is the first commandment with promise, that it may go well with you and that you may live long in the land. Parents, you must discipline your children. Parents must use corrective discipline firmly but lovingly and carefully applied. Proverbs 3:11-12 says, my son, do not despise the Lord's discipline and be weary of his reproof, for the Lord reproves him whom he loves, as a father the son in whom he delights. Proverbs 19:18, discipline your children while there is hope, otherwise you will ruin their lives. So how will you discipline your child? We're not talking about abusing them, beating them, but you got to let your children know that you are in authority, that you are the man who God created you to be responsible for them, to take care of them, to provide for them, to be there for them, and to let them know that when you're not around me, you give adults, you give the policemen, you give the teacher, you give your grandmother, you give your aunt, you give the elder, the brother, the pastor at the church, the missionary, the mother. You give them the same respect and honor that you give me. I'm going to close out with this. I can remember the time growing up as a young man when we used to go up to the grocery store and we used to see elderly people, older people that we knew, and we probably was out there probably drinking, or maybe some was smoking weed, or some was smoking cigarettes, or we was at some of us out there cursing. But when that adult came up there that we knew or didn't even have to know him, hey man, come Mr. So-and-so, man, put that cigarette out, put that weed up, man, shh, don't be cursing, man, you stand up straight. How you doing, Mr. and Miss Johnson? And they're gonna say to you, well, you boys stay out of trouble. That was respect back in the days. We have lost that. That's why we need fathers and men in the community to stand up today. I need you. I need you to maximize men today. Hope you all enjoyed this and share this with a friend, and may God bless you.